What's going on, my money mavens and moolah misfits? It's me, Joe Knows Money, here with my new series called The Butt Naked Truth. Ironically, I'm reporting live from my daughter's room this morning because she has taken over my room. And I've been tiptoeing around this house all morning long trying not to wake her up. For those of you who are parents or have affiliation with kids, you know one of the scariest things ever is for your kid to wake up accidentally when you're trying to do something important. I was in here thinking and contemplating how there's a relation between me tiptoeing around the house this morning and how people tiptoe around the conversation about money, right? So I'm here with this new series, The Butt Naked Truth, to really do away with that last taboo. People are more willing to talk about their intimate partners than they are to talk about their money situation. And I get it. There's a lot of shame around money, right? If you don't have it, the last thing you want to do is talk about how broke you are. If you have it, you don't want to talk about money because you may make other people feel bad for not having it. And if you know nothing about money, who wants to be that vulnerable where they're having a conversation about something they have no knowledge about? So again, that's why I created this series, so we can have a safe place to have truthful, unvarnished, butt naked truth conversations around money. Some of which we've never had before. If you grew up like I did and you asked about a bill, how much did it cost? Your parents say, why are you worrying about it? Are you going to pay for it? Or if later on in life you had conversations around money, it's normally because people are trying to separate you from it because they had a hidden agenda, signing you up for a credit card or putting you in this financial product. I don't have any of that. So I'm not worried about hurt feelings. You may agree with some of what I say, you may disagree with some of what I say. But everything I say is going to be for your best interest. So remember that and get ready for the butt naked truth. The government shutdown is finally over, at least for now. And a few 100,000 people can finally get back to work and start earning a paycheck. But unfortunately, some of them aren't out of a financial devastating situation quite yet. And here's the butt naked truth. The government shutdown never should have happened, and more people should have had an emergency fund so they didn't experience financial devastation after just 1 month of not receiving income. Because we always tell people, make sure you have at least 6 months in your emergency fund. Now I know, some of you may be listening to this and saying, hey, you know what, Joe, there's nowhere in the world I can put away that amount of money. If you say that, you wouldn't be alone, because 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. But just because you're in good company doesn't mean that's the way it should be or has to be. I'm going to give you tips on how you can survive your own financial shutdown, how you can find money in the income that you're already making, how you can make more money, and how you can make sure you have a safety net in between time. Because remember, emergencies don't wait for you to get ready. So here's how you can find money with the income that you're already bringing in, making sure that your expenses are no more than they should be. Here are some rules of thumb. No more than 35% of your income should go towards paying for rent or mortgage. And we're talking about everything included in that. Renter's insurance, mortgage insurance, the cost of maintaining your home. But then also no more than 15% of your income, and I mean gross income that is, should go towards transportation. Your car note, your car insurance, gas, so on and so forth. And then no more than 25% of your income should go towards clothing, food, entertainment, etc. And last but not least, no more than 15% of your income should go towards existing debt. We're talking personal debt, credit card debt, student loans, etc. If you stay within that general parameter, you'll have 10% a month to put away in an emergency fund. Now look, if you did the math and you say, well Joe, I only make $1,000 a month and you're telling me I can't spend any more than 35% on rent, there's no place I can get for $350. Look, I get that. So sometimes you may be in a financial situation where the only way in which you can put away extra money is to earn extra money. And it's very easy to do in this new economy that we have called the shared economy. Literally, you don't have to apply for a job any longer. You don't have to wait for someone to call you back and negotiate your salary. You can put yourself in a business. A good example of that is Uber. But Uber isn't the only one. I mean, there's sites like Fiverr and Thumbtack where you can just pick your skill and get paid for it. Let me give you a couple of quick examples. If you like dogs, you can walk dogs, you can pet sit, you can do a number of things to earn extra money. Let's say you're really good at organizing. People will pay you to come into their house and organize for them. There's literally no excuse for you not to be earning extra money. And it's flexible as well. You can do it on nights and weekends and mornings and all of those kind of things that are normally people's excuse for why they can't pick up an extra job or extra hours. So this is a way for you to make more money. But remember this, making more money just isn't the key. It's how much of that extra money that you save towards your goal of an emergency fund. Remember, our aim is 6 months of your living expense in an account set aside only for one purpose and one purpose only. That's to make sure that you can get through any financial shutdown of your own. You have to have a goal to score. So it's not about just cutting your expenses, it's not about just making more money, it's having that goal in place and putting the necessary steps, one foot in front of the other, until you get there. And once you have this 6 months of cash, let me tell you what you're getting out of the deal. You're getting no worries. No worries if you lose your job tomorrow, because you'll have enough time to find another job that's paying you just as much money, if not more. It anchors you in place financially, so you don't have to take a step back or 2 steps back every time that life happens. The other thing that it does is it's really more so a freedom fund as well. So if you need to get out of a sticky situation, you're not being treated well at your job, or maybe even at your home, you're in a toxic relationship, you don't have to stay in it because of money. You can move on to something that's better. You still need a safety net in between times, because life happens in between the time that you're getting ready for an emergency and an emergency actually happening. Let's say you're working towards your goal and your emergency fund isn't quite full. You need to have a safety net in place in between time. Here are 2 ways in which you can have a safety net to help get you through. One is if you own a home. You can create a home equity line of credit. That means if your home is valued at $200,000 and you owe $100,000 on it, that means you have $100,000 of equity that you can tap into simply by going to a credit union and applying for them to lend you that money. And it only costs a few $100s for you to establish. Let's say you don't own a home, or you don't have the few $100s that it costs in order to establish it. Then what you want to look towards is a credit card. The lowest interest rate credit card that you can find. Make sure you keep a 0 account balance so that you can slap down the plastic in case of an emergency. It's not the ideal situation, but you do need something in place to get you through until you fill your emergency bucket all the way up. And that's your Butt Naked Truth. I'm your money guy, Joe Knows Money. Be sure to hit subscribe and tune in next week for more money tips. And remember, choice is not chance, determines your financial destiny. So invest in yourself.